Welcome back to the Humble Healer podcast. Today is Sunday, March 1st, and thank you for tuning in. And today, I'd like to talk about applying mindfulness to face grief. And we can start talking about mindful endings. What does that mean? Mindful endings mean facing the changes and challenges we encounter with conscious awareness and purpose. Using mindfulness involves staying present, acknowledging emotions, and finding peace through practices like meditation. It's about approaching the end with a calm and centered mindset. When it comes to death and dying, there are steps we can take to feel more prepared, assuage our fear and uncertainty. Every one of us will one day experience this mysterious part of life. Accepting this fact can help us and our loved ones approach death and dying with more peace. I remember one of the messages that I recommended a few episodes ago. One of the things I tell myself every morning is life is short. I may not see another sunrise tomorrow, so I'll live today like my last. And it is true, and it's okay, and it's good to reflect on that. It's okay to reflect on mortality because that is the inevitable ending of our journey. Death is part of life, and it's okay to reflect on that. And I also mentioned that those who practice daily reflection on mortality are actually a lot happier than those that don't, have fear of death and anxious about death. What is a death doula? So when I was in residency, family medicine residency, during the OB rotation, during my core days, sometimes there were these death doulas. Yeah, excuse me. There was the birth doulas that help provide a spiritual way for moms to give birth to babies and allow them to reduce anxiety and stress associated with birth and allow them to experience joy and allow them to have family mindfulness to the whole birthing process. And in the beginning, I didn't understand, but the more I understand about mindfulness, the more I realized the importance of these going through in helping the moms to get through the difficult birthing process, and it can be a lot of pain and anxiety and stress. And now there is death doula. So one way to prepare for death and dying is to connect with a death doula. A death doula is a non-medical support person who serves a dying individual, loved ones, and or their caregivers. Prior to the medicalization and the emergence of professionalized healthcare, most people die at home where members of their community, family would tend to them and serve as peaceful presence. Many people today say they want to be home, but instead die in the hospital bed. Their caregivers are the first to meet their need of feeling incapable, intimidated, or overwhelmed. Death doulas can help with the logistics of navigating the healthcare system. Be part of a team that makes and dignified home death possible and help the dying person and their loved one, both emotionally and spiritually by setting some mindful groundwork. So, question that a death doula may ask that we sometimes don't think about. Number one, what sound would you like to hear? Would you like it to be quiet? Would you like an ambient sound? Perhaps you like rock music. Would you like a conversation to happen around you, or would you prefer peaceful contemplation? Number two, what is a memory that brings you strength or show you your own strength? When allowed your life, did you feel most strong and capable? Number three, if you die today, what would you want your epitaph to be? If you don't want an epitaph, perhaps consider what sort of closing statement you would like about your life and legacy. Number four, is there something you always wondered or wanted to ask but didn't? Would you like to ask it now? Why or why not? Complicated about the asking. Number five, how do you want to be remembered after you die? If you feel inclined to three adjectives that you hope those who know you will use this to describe your memory. Number six, what's the best advice you've ever received? How did you put it into action or didn't you in your life? Engage with this question and feel comfortable. You can journal, simply sit in contemplation, or perhaps use this question to spark conversations with friends and family. Please be sure to check in along the way and allow yourself kindness as you reflect. Find mindfulness to face grief and loss. Mindfulness is all about paying attention to the present moment without judging it. In grief, this means being aware of our feelings without getting overwhelmed or letting down. Scientists have been looking into how mindfulness can help people go through tough times, and the results are promising. When we practice mindfulness during grief, it helps us accept the reality of loss and be kind to ourselves as we navigate all those tough questions. It's like having a mental anchor, keeping us steady in the storm of sadness. Mindfulness, particularly methods like mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, MBCT, can significantly help those dealing with grief. One study looked at how MBCT helps people dealing with grief after losing a loved one. The study involved 19 people who participated in 8 mindfulness programs. Results show that mindfulness training legislated how different parts of the brain communicate when the mind is at rest. It suggests that mindfulness helps improve focus and reduces wandering thoughts. They also found that these changes in the brain were linked to improvement in mindfulness, anxiety, and handling. In simple terms, mindfulness training seems to help people navigate their emotions after loss by making positive changes in how the brain works during quiet moments. Research also shows that mindfulness can actually change how our brain works. Activities like meditation and focused breathing activate parts of our brain that deal with emotion and self-awareness. This rewiring can make it easier for us to handle our feelings of stress. So when we talk about the science of mindfulness for grief, we're essentially talking about using our inner resources to help us face and work through the pain of loss, being less more grounded and compassionate way to heal. Dealing with grief is a deep journey we all likely face sometime in our life. Come to many feelings and difficulties, but practicing mindfulness can help. Recovering from loss and change, this can support us in healing and self-discovery after loss and changes. Seek support from others, reflect on past challenges, and envision new life ahead. Let's explore some of the suggestions from mindfulness teachers and psychotherapist Ronald Alexander. Reach out for support. Don't try to bear your challenge alone. Ask for assistance from friends, spiritual leaders, support groups, and professionals. To sit quietly and reflect. Not using methods to clear your trauma. Sit quiet and ask yourself. Historically, have I experienced challenges in my life and how I navigate through them? And use these past experiences to tap into your internal courage and strength. And so we can implement the same strategies again. Number 3, trust your inner resources. Once you realize that you survived traumas before now, trust yourself to know that you have the ability to get through a present challenge. Number 4, learn to keep yourself centered through the unbearable feelings of grief. When the waves of sadness and helplessness wash over you initially, feel the emotion and its depth, then start to breathe the grief will slowly progress. This will help you stay grounded and bring you back to the present. The key is just like any practice of mindfulness, don't get sucked consumed by get yourself get consumed by the overwhelming emotion of sadness or sometimes anger or anxiety. Mindfulness control you stay there in the center and outside of that sometimes very overwhelming waves of those emotions. In the fire, start imagining a new life, even though you are experiencing immense grief as you already start to imagine an event in your mind in the future for yourself. Number 6, practice mindfulness while doing other practices such as meditation, yoga, or even walks in nature. Remember that your loss is cyclical like the season. The intensity may rise, lessen, and rise again, like the trees that weather the wind to know bloom in spring. This is which is part of a natural process of moving forward. Life can feel like a sudden punch throwing you into a tough situation. Imagine doing a usual thing, then boom, you lose your home, your job, changes, or someone you care about is gone. It really hurts. The instant you used to feel familiar or seem strange. When the comfort is gone, it causes uncertainty. Makes sense in this moment. Grief might feel like a big challenge, even if you've faced tough times before. Yes, ways of mindfulness can help us begin to sort through our experiences and maybe even begin to move forward. When grief comes knocking, it is often described as the pain of losing a loved one, but it's also our natural response to big life changes, like losing a job, ending a relationship, or moving involve stages like denial, the target, depression, and acceptance. Mind, brain, body get involved in the grief process, acting to and helping us recover from the continued that feeling that comes with change. The emotion that arrive during this time are the most talked about grief symptoms. They also feel physical symptoms like nausea, fatigue, insomnia, lack of appetite, and more. And if you all encompassing, our bodies are trying to figure out how to cope with some things. Stress, habit, rich habit for our usual comfort, ways of doing things, and sources of meaning and connection. Grieving is actually tied to a deep ancient need for connection. Back in the day, sticking together in groups, process of the whole tactic. So when we lose a connection, it's like an those up with our system. Everyone switch is unique into the rule book or timeline. We all just finding out the whole path of big messy maze of emotion. So when you deal with the possible person job, some good person type way, it's okay to ride the waves of grief, however, and wherever they come. This gap is still designed to be a resource that you can come back time and time again whenever you need it. Common common ways we show up. The emotional roller coaster could often involve a range of emotions such as sadness, anger, guilt, confusion, and even relief. These emotions can come and go in what if, even long after we experience the initial loss. These pros and cons will manifest physically, leading to symptoms like fatigue, changes of appetite, disturbances, headache, or stomach aches. Cognitive effects of loss can affect concentration, memory, decision-making abilities. It might be challenging to focus on daily tasks or make choices during the grieving process. Social withdrawal. Individually, individuals may withdraw from social activities or isolate themselves as they navigate their emotions. Pain often makes it difficult to engage with others. Individual impact. For some, raises question about the meaning of life, distance and lost beliefs, but only the deep sadness and despair, changes in identity, grief alter one's sense of identity. People may question who they are or their role in the absence of whom they lost. Behavior changes. Grief can also influence behavior, leading to changes in routine habits or coping mechanisms, some more healthy than others. Some people might seek solace in new activity or withdraw from familiar ones. Impact on relationships. The dynamic of relationship can shift due to grief. Communication may become strained and people might struggle to bond with others with experience of sin loss. It's important to note that grief is highly individual as experience. People cope with it in various ways. There is no right or wrong way to be, and each person journey is unique. If you're struggling with grief, if you especially difficult to seek connection or find support from friends, family, and professional could be beneficial. If someone you know is grieving, it can be helpful to reach out, let them know that you're there to support them through this hard time. You can feel as though everything crashed around you, and maybe it is. You might do to be curious about where you could let grief fade without knocking you out, without it knocking you out. When you're feeling that it's all too much and that grief is got you in its jaws, sometimes it helps to one accept that grief does not follow a rule, despite what you might have been told. Grief is like being a state of shock. When grief picks you up, I started about laughing at the most inappropriate moment. I'll spend all day on YouTube watching movies to the feast is around. Please be kind to yourself. There is no one to grieve. Accept that grief could show up uninvited anywhere, anytime. At the grocery store, in the middle of the workday, one minute you are busy running to keep up with the world's frantic pace, the next minute your ex leave out and you couldn't look even if you wanted to. Come, if you just also if you stop for a moment, give yourself permission to pause if you need it. Please follow the breath all the way in and out the way out a few times. It can help you feel grounded. What do you notice and connect what you are feeling with as much kindness and compassion as possible. These tough times, it is about opening up and recognize need a friend. That friend is you. In conclusion, grieving with mindfulness needs aware and accepting your emotion without judgment. It involves navigating the unexpected grief with self-compassion and purpose for awareness. Right. As for one, step you can. Let yourself feel at any given moment with a sense of self-compassion and without judgment. Number two, express the feelings. This is important to accept in your feelings. It's expressing them in a way that is helpful to you. Feeling, talking about your experience, I hope that thing that will helpful with each process to have a lot of feelings. Stay stuck. Three, reach out during the time. It's important to reach out in multiple ways. Reach out for guidance from a spiritual counselor or psychologist. You can share story, your love with others, and offer support. To agree, one balance between sitting with yourself and being with others, but ultimately reach out or isolate. Key to maintain your honest, clear your needs. Leave your mind in adjust mode, and then reach out and care of others around you, especially those and also breathing like yourself. Make sure that okay. Make sure that they go through the steps mindfully. Continue to take care of yourself and others, living life while you're breathing often just feel like escaping a mountain. Routine takes energy and can often feel draining. As much as possible during this tough time, continue to eat well, exercise, and maintain wellness practices. That's very important because if you won't take care of others, people that will be together with you, your loved ones, then you never take care of yourself first. If you're humbling during this grief, then they you. So I much rather prefer to help others than to be helped by others. So take care of yourself first. And how to rest in yourselves. You can stay in the rest in the judgment as much as possible. And when grief hits you, you can practice pushing self-acceptance and acceptance of your feelings and grief. And then you can also maintain that calmness and serenity to help other people grieving. And lastly, celebrate your loved one's life. It is important to the grief process. Keep a memory of your loved ones' life in some ways that will inspire growth and reflect and honor your unique relationship. This can include donating to charity, meditating in their honor, and preventing me going to grief with eating family goals. I found that for one, thinking of myself is important. Number two, helping others actually is helpful in facing grief, provide comfort for loved ones, and also offers a remedy. Sometimes I feel like others ask me about events and they're shocked and they actually need to be comforted. And I was happy to be able to comfort them also. It's important to help each other was able to take care of patients yesterday, helps feel better. It's amazing. What a great therapy to take care of other people and that allows you to feel better. And you take the deep breath, stay grounded, secure, and it does pass. Just like anything else, and you can go back to your routine. Never easy, need practice, but that's my approach. I hope you do. Hopefully, in similar situation, practice mindfulness when it comes because it will come to your life no matter when you are. If one will experience grief, because without us getting a grief, and we avoid special blood magnets having grief in order to uh, live with love connection.